What is up, guys? Del Boy here. So Josh Warrington defeats Kiko Martinez by majority decision to remain undefeated, and really interesting fight. A good fight to watch. I actually chose to watch this fight rather than the Kalya 5 fight because I figured that fight would be quite one-sided from what I saw of his opponent. But Warrington versus Martinez was a good fight, and Martinez wasn't quite as shot as I thought he was. And I have to say, I think Kiko Martinez won that fight. It was close, but I just felt, when you watch that fight through its entirety, to me, there were more stages in that fight where I would have rather been Martinez. There was multiple rounds where he was piling on the pressure, working that body. The overhand right was finding its mark, particularly early on. I just felt the pressure of Martinez offsetted the sort of quick hands and outside boxing of Josh Warrington. And it goes to show, man, I mean, home advantage does it lends a lot, you know. Home advantage is important. And that's all there is to it. Because I honestly felt Kiko Martinez won that fight. And I like Josh Warrington. I think he's a solid fighter. Great work rate. Tough guy. Entertaining. Brings a great crowd with him. But I just felt he lost that fight personally. I felt Martinez should have edged it. And at the very worst, probably a draw. I just don't feel that Josh Warrington won that fight at all, to be honest. But there we go. That is what it is. What do you guys think of the scoring? Did you guys? How did you guys score the fight? I'll be honest. I wasn't really keeping score. I thought I'd just sit down and watch it instead of scoring it. But my impression was that Martinez won the fight. You know, I'll probably have to watch the fight again. But it just seemed that Martinez was the guy in the driving seat all the time. There were spells where Josh Warrington would let his hands go and land like a quick 3 or 4 punch combo, and there were sort of spells of that. But for the most part, it was Martinez applying the pressure, and to me, he was the one who was dictating the pace. If you look at both guys, who looked more uncomfortable in there? I felt Warrington looked more uncomfortable, but yeah, it is what it is. Warrington gets the decision, and he'll definitely learn from that fight because, you know, Martinez is a tough customer. He's a experienced guy, former world champion, and he put him through a tough fight. And yeah, Josh Warrington can only really get better from that. You know, he'd be a fool not to learn from it. But moving on, Josh Warrington, where does he go from here? I just looked at his post-fight interview and he's saying he would like a world title shot. Let's look at the top guys in that division. Leo Santa Cruz is the WBA champion, and Lee Selby is the IBF champion. Oscar Valdez is the WBO champion, and Gary Russell is the WBC champion. Also, Abner Mares holds the WBA. Does Abner Mares hold the WBA super title? I'm not sure, but anyway, both Leo Santa Cruz and Abner Mares hold versions of the WBA title. So let's look at those names. Does Josh Warrington beat any of those guys? I don't think he can't beat Gary Russell. He can't beat Oscar Valdez. He can't beat Abner Mares. He can't beat Leo Santa Cruz. Can he beat Lee Selby? Now, I make Lee Selby a significant favourite, but if you had to pick one guy who's most beatable in that bunch, I'd pick Lee Selby. And I think Lee Selby's a good world champion as well, but I think the other guys who I mentioned are a level above him. So, if I was Team Warrington, I would rather go with through the Lee Selby route, because ultimately it's a big domestic fight between two Brits for a world title. You know, it's an easy sell. You can have it at Ellen Road in Leeds, which is Leeds United Football Ground, which holds like 42,000, I believe. And Josh Warrington sells tickets. It's probably not going to sell out the whole stadium, but that fight could easily generate 20 odd thousand people. Easily. So, to me, the Lee Selby fight is the no-brainer. I know Josh Warrington is highly ranked in the WBC, but the Lee Selby fight is just so obvious that it's probably not going to be made. You know, in boxing sometimes when there's fights that should be made, but for whatever reason they never happen. But yeah, it is what it is. I think that's the route they need to go down. Number one, because I think it's a big domestic fight and it will generate a lot of money. But number two, although I make Lee Selby a big favourite, I think that's Warrington's best chance. So that's the fight I'd go for. And yeah, in terms of a Martinez fight, I personally felt he lost, but that it is what it is. Where does Martinez go from here? Listen, man, Martinez is a tough man. He's been a good fighter, really sort of honest fighter. Obviously an ex-world champion, been in big fights with the likes of Kyle Frampton twice, Scott Quigg, Hosogawa in Japan, Jonathan Romero, where he won the world title. All those years ago, he knocked out Bernard Dunn for the European title. He fought Randall Monroe twice, I believe. So listen, Kiko Martinez has had big fights. He's been a really entertaining fighter. Fought in the UK a few times now, and yeah, he's one of those guys. You're definitely going to get your money's worth out of him. Really entertaining fighter, decent power, aggression, pressure. I've watched Martinez quite a few times now, and yeah, I've really enjoyed his career. I've not seen every single one of his fights, I'm not going to lie, but every single fight he's fought in the UK I have, and obviously his world title fights I've seen as well. So yeah, Martinez has been a really entertaining fighter, but I think now it's probably time to call it a day, and yeah, to call it and end it there, because he's had a really good career. And he's definitely past his best now. So I think, do you know what? Instead of waiting till you're shot and just completely past it, retire now on a decent performance, and yeah, is what it is. But tell me what you guys think. Did you guys also feel that Kiko Martinez won that fight, or did you think Josh Warrington done enough to deserve it? What do you guys think? Peace.